What's up? It's Tuesday morning. I actually feel like crap, but I don't care. How is the nobody that's watching his life going? I have some work to do. And I wasn't going to come out here because I'm not, I don't know. I've had this like in and out illness since like Thanksgiving almost. Um, but I just decided I'm coming out here today because sitting in the house is freaking boring. So I got to unclamp this one. There's one behind you that's really nice that I got to finish up for my cousin and oil up. I got lights to put in. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a lot more illuminated over behind the bandsaw now. See how it's all lit on the wall up there? I put a new outlet for the lighting up there this weekend. My brother helped me do it. And I stuck one bulb in there to see if it's going to help. It definitely helps. So I'm going to go across. Originally, I didn't put much lighting there because if the garage doors are up, it blocks it. The garage wasn't heated, so it didn't really matter. Most of the time, the light was coming through the garage door because the garage doors were open. But yeah, they aren't anymore because we're insulated. What's up, Fix 'em dude? How is life? Go print my vase, man. Did I send you a thing? I don't think I did. Did I? I was gonna send you one, and I sent it to. I don't even remember who I sent it to now. I got about half a dozen people. It's pretty simple. I don't see a problem with it, but I always like some people to check it out and make sure there's no issues with the print. Let's get rid of some glue globs from yesterday. I like me polyurethane on a bench. It's not as good as laminate, except for you can see the wood, which you guys can't see because I got the camera too close. I'm going to back the camera up a little bit so you can see what's going on here. If I can get it tucked in between all this crap, I got a lot of crap. This is the really nice charcuterie board I'm making for my cousin. I was gonna say my brother. My brother was helping me with it yesterday. He came over. We were kind of goofing off. This thing is wicked nice. I kind of like it. Um, I wish I hadn't done the cherry. I wish I had just done it all black walnut. And I kept planing it down. I did a glue up and then I would plane it down, and I did the color band and I planed it down, and I ended up too thin. So I actually padded it with some cherry and maple on the bottom to thicken it up again, which honestly I wasn't sure I was going to like. I've done it before, and every time I do it, I'm like, ah. And every time I do it, I'm like, that came off. I kind of like the two-tony, bottom a different color. If you look at the edge, you can see the seams. Not only that, I think it makes it a little stronger because you're basically, plywooding it in a sense. So you have all the grains going different ways, and they're all glued up. And I didn't really look for grain passage. I almost never do. I always look for which base I like better on stuff like this. But yeah, it came out pretty nice. I like it a lot. I like this one a real lot. And of course, I hid all the bad marks. That's like a knot mark. It's the beginning of a knot mark. And yeah, it does look sharp when it's finished. It needs another sanding. I hit it with rubbing alcohol yesterday. Just check it out. I got pictures of it. Um, all my food service stuff, it gets soaked in mineral oil for 24 hours. That's what it's soaked in. I put it on thick, let it sit for 24 hours, take off any excess, and then I use it's just beeswax and mineral oil boiled together. That way it's food safe. It's like an old standard for cutting boards and charcuterie boards and that kind of stuff. I don't like any of the linseeds and the stuff like that. They're not dangerous. They're not good either. There's a lot of people that use not linseed oil, boiled oils and boiled linseed oil or whatever it is, but it leaves a shell. And with mineral oil and wax, it absorbs into it and actually protects the wood. The shells, if you cut on it, now this is a charcuterie board. It's not really a cutting board, but you're still going to be driving a knife into it. And when you cut through that shell, there's no more protection. And now you have a seam for not only the water to get in, but the very small part for it to come back out again. So you end up with, I don't know. I've never done a cutting board, but I liked it. Well, do it! Do it, man! Just do it. I like doing them. The problem is they're not really selling anymore. Like everybody's doing them. And mine are, if I was doing production runs, I could do them way cheaper. Mine are all one-offs. And I tried Etsy, and I got my own website, which is scrolling there. But I basically gave them all away because everyone was going, oh, this is beautiful. I want one that looks like this. They wanted custom. They didn't want pre-produced. So I had like $2,000 worth of them that I gave to a friend. She does like those farmer markets, flea markets down in Florida all the time. So she's got them, and she's trying to sell them here and there. I think she actually sold a couple of them. She sent me some money, so she must have. I haven't actually talked to her. Actually, I did talk to her. I don't know. My brain's fogged. But yeah, they're nice. I like doing cutting boards. I like doing the clocks. The cutting boards are just. I like experimenting. I don't like making the same thing over and over. Like this was an experiment. I was like, oh, you know what? I want to try that because I saw a YouTube video and said that looks freaking cool. And they did all kinds of fancy. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do one like S curve in it, see how it comes out, and go from there. But this all got sanded and cleaned up, and all the little holes got filled. Yesterday, it got the grain raised with some rubbing alcohol, which made it look awesome. And it sat, so now I got to hit it with some like 220, because I think this was 150, and that's the last thing I hit it with yesterday. But I got to unclamp this and get it out of the way first. And what I think I'm going to do with this one is this was just a chunk of cherry. I actually got this sort of free. I bought a big, huge board. This was a nice board of cherry. It was sad to cut it. It was 11 inches wide, solid cherry, clear, by like 8 feet long. And they gave me a wicked discount on it because the guy put it on the saw, not paying attention while I was selecting other boards. And he went to cut another board and put the other board right on top of this and started cutting into it. So there's a big gouge, like saw cut. That far off the end. So they gave me a good discount on it. I think I only paid like 6 or 7 board foot. And it was, 5/4, 6/4 cherry. Solid, clear, really nice. So they only charged me for the other thing. He said, just keep that, I think it's like 2 feet. It's not even 2 feet. It's like 18 inches. He just took that amount off. It's 60 centimeters. Let's have one that has feet and inches just for giggles. Yeah, it was an extra 2 foot. It's a 2 foot board. But it was a full 12-inch wide clear board, which is really hard to find still on anything. I have some oak over there that's like 200 years old. But you're not going to find new milled that wide easily. I mean, you can here and there, but not easily. And it was clear. It was beautiful. Anyway, neat. I mean, it was only like a 4 or 5 inch nick, and he, noticed it. He was like, "Oh crap!" I'm like, "Yeah, that wasn't too smart." He goes, "Don't worry about it," and he just rode off 2 feet. I was like, "Oh, you're not going to cut it off?" He goes, "Nah, just keep it. They're making money." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So, anyways, this is basically free, but it sucked cutting it because even though it had the knock in it, I have to cut it to stand up the grain. Otherwise, it'll just warp when you get it wet or start using it. And it's just better to use edge grain. Basically, by doing this, it turns into quarter sawn, so it's more stable. If that makes sense. it's really not. But anyway, let's unclamp this puppy. We glued it up yesterday, me and my brother. We were just hanging out. I think he was bored, so he came over yesterday. And we ran some lights and wires. And I sanded this a little bit. We BS'd and hung out. Glued this thing up. So, let's unglue it. Unclampiate it. And there we are. One big chunk of cherry. And it is a nice chunk of cherry. Oh, falling on the ground. I got to get a better storage rack for my pipe racks over here because that's not a good storage method. Everything else has got pretty decent storage now. Still got some manufacturing to do for storage, but my pipe rack or my pipe clamps have not been accounted for to be properly stored yet. But yeah, that's pretty. One big chunk of cherry. And it was nice too. It was actually, I almost thought about not cutting it because it was almost dead flat. But I just know if a year from now, if any kind of moisture hits it or anything, it'll be warped without some kind of support or something. So by cutting it into strips and then re-gluing it sideways, it makes it more stable. Because I don't know if you can see the end grain, but basically makes it into quarter sawn, which is like the most stable cut of wood. Because the expansion contraction is even and all that crap, it doesn't like roll it. When you have, I don't know, when you have grain that kind of arcs, it expands from the core, so that's what makes it warp. So if you have an arced grain and you're inboard board, that's what makes it roll. Let's flip this thing over. I don't need to clean it up. Let's flip it over. That was loud. Yeah, it was so pretty though. I still have the other, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet. It's about 5 feet left up there. I'm not even going to get out the sander. I'm just going to hand sand this because it had the grain raised and everything. I got some 220 right here that's sort of used, but paid for this thing right here. So I'm just going to clip it on here. Hopefully it stays. I love this Crubertron. Vince, what's up, buddy? This sandpaper is awesome. The only thing I've discovered with it's still worth it. Where it's like a plastic paper. It's not paper. It's like a plastic membrane. And it's not ridiculously expensive. It's a little more expensive, but the Velcro doesn't stay to it. So even though the sandpaper is still fine, you have a hard time using it because the Velcro isn't still attached. So let's give this a quick sanding with some 220 and oil her up. I'm not doing anything more fancy to it. I need to make a clamp. Maybe that's what I'll start doing today. I've actually got the bench prepped to put a moccasin vise on the end. And I just haven't gotten around to actually making the moccasin vise. I bought some just threaded rod, some pretty heavy duty. I think it's 5/8 threaded rod, nuts and bolts and washers. And I think I'm going to need more washers, but whatever. I just got to select some wood over there and start making it. So I might do that later today too. Because I really need a vise because this is stupid. I had a nice Moxon vise because I'm supposed to have dog holes in here. I designed this to have dog holes, and I haven't put them in yet because I want the vise to be here with a little head on the vise that'll have a dog hole in it, so I can use the vise to clamp to the dog holes. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think my cousin's gonna like this. I sent him a picture. This is actually supposed to be for his wife for Christmas, but between me blowing out my back and everything else, it didn't happen. And he's not. I mean, he wasn't like. He's like, hey, my wife does the cheese and crackery things with her friends. You got a charcuterie board? And I actually had one. I was just gonna send them, and somebody came along and wanted it. And he's like, frickin' sell it, dude. I was like, okay, I can wait. So I'm hoping I can get this all finished, and he can give it to her for Valentine's Day. Vincey Vince. How is life for Vincey Vince? Are you still out of work? You're out of work for a couple of weeks, huh? Or a month or two. There's like a line in this, and I don't know if it's green or if it's a sanding mark, but I don't like it. I'm going to try and sand it out. But I have a feeling it's actually a green thing, because it ain't coming out. So I think I'm going to leave it. That's getting annoying. I really need to get some way to clamp material down. Those glue blobs on the other side are getting annoying too. I guess I got to get rid of them. Glue don't stick to the silicone pad. That's the whole point of it. That should be better. Oh, that's a little better. Still slippery. I was hoping these silicone pads would like stick to the polyurethane tabletop, but they don't. You get even the slightest bit of sawdust on it and it just starts slipping around. I think they make like heavier duty ones that will stay put, but I'm not really in the mood to spend more money right yet on stuff like that. Not go over the edges a little bit. I actually kind of like this side of it. I almost wish I hadn't beveled it and just left it square so they can use either side. Well, it is what it is now. It has to be an easier way to get in these handle grips. Those stupid things you put on a drill or the drill press suck. Little drum sandery things. They just suck. I can do it easier by hand. We make a mess of everything. I wouldn't mind. I'm actually looking at getting the actual that little stupid Home Depot / rigid spindle / belt sandery thing, oscillating belt sander. Everyone says it's like don't waste the money on a fancy one. Just buy that thing. It's $300 and it works just fine. I'm like, okay. Belt sander / drum sander thingy. Give it a quick sanding, and that is really smooth. I think we're done with that. going to get loud because I'm going to vacuum. Put the sander over here for now since I'm not going to use it right away. And where's my vacuum head? Well, I can use this one. This isn't the one I wanted, but it'll work. It's got a brush on it. I don't know where the square one is. It's around there somewhere. It's going to get loud, guys, because I'm firing up a vacuum. Oh, there it is. It's on the side of the vacuum where it's supposed to be. That's funny. All right, let's see how it works now. La-di-da. Enough. Good enough. I'm going to take this right the hell out of here for now. Oh, look, there's chunks still in there. Put some paper towel down because she's getting mineraled. She's getting dosed. And I'm going to have to bring the camera in because you guys are going to love this. Because I soaked this thing in rubbing alcohol yesterday. And it is frickin'. As you guys well know, the minute you hit something with Finsh, the whole color palette changes. Shoulder's getting better. Cool. First things first. I think I need new tack cloths. Do I even have one left? I need a tack cloth. Need a tack cloth. I don't think I have a tack cloth. No, 120. One sanding paper. Stop sticking to yourself. Toothbrushes. How many more tack cloths over here? Ooh, I got one left. This is actually, I think there's 3 in here, isn't there? Yeah, it's a 3-pack. I don't know why you see all these YouTuber fancy high-end woodworking guys and none of them use a tack cloth when they finish. Although most of them now use like the fancy oil finishes where if it gets a little sawdust on it, it doesn't really matter. This is kind of what I'm doing, but I still like to get rid of it. I like to pull as much of it off as I can. And I mean, tack cloths are, you get 3 of them for like $2. It's stupid not to use a tack cloth. March at the earliest? Well, we got to do a regular like group stream again and get you in on it. I've seen you a couple of times since you've been out of work again streaming, but I hope that doesn't show. It's like a sandy mark there. I think I want to try and get rid of it. The grain's not perfect on this. That's what makes it weird is the grain's coming up, but it's almost like end grain here because of that. So, Viking! Come on, man. You know better than to be on YouTube. You're supposed to be on Twitch, so I get paid. That's what it really matters. If I can get my viewer count on YouTube up over the 1,000 or whatever it is you need now. I think I already actually have the hours. You need 1,000 hours and or 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers or some crap. That would probably go back to YouTube over Twitch. I mean, they're both the same. Whatever. Doesn't really matter to me. I use them both. Everybody's on YouTube. I just noticed that. Get on Twitch! I get paid on Twitch. I'm kidding. Actually, I'm not. But I am. Ah, crap. All right. Let's oil this puppy up. I'm going to have to give you an up close and personal shot because this is going to look awesome. Like really, really awesome. And I don't know if that's like on it or not. I think I got it pointed about right. Oh, I did just about perfect, didn't I? Let's mineralize it. Where is my mineral oil? Right here. Let's do the back first, which is still going to look cool. Yeah, I agree. I'm not. Yes. You're right, Viking. I agree. The cherry pops with the mineral oil. The maple doesn't really give a crap. It looks about the same. You get some grain pop, but wait until you see the walnut and the purple heart, because that stripe has purple heart in it. Initial coat. Get everything wet. Are the edges all wet? Especially in the finger grip where, fingers will be. I spilled some on the table, soak it up into the towel. And I got it all over my sweatshirt. Good thing it's a work sweatshirt. Hey, you 3D printer people who are in the States, in other words, not you, Viking, unfortunately. And actually, I don't know. He might ship to out of country. I don't think so. I think he's U.S. only. But anyway, Snow Labs is going to specialize in polycarbonate filaments. So, I can't remember the freaking guy's name. I've talked to him so many times. I haven't talked to him like a year, but I used to talk to him a lot. Anyway, he's unloading all his PLA, polycarbonate, ABS. PETG, PLA, and ABS, and AS. I think he's got ASA too, but he's unloading it all because all he's going to do is polycarbonates and high-end stuff, because I guess that's all he's selling right now. So if you go to snowlabs.com, all of his filaments, hey Sergio, all his filaments are on sale right now. Look at the walnut pop. That is pretty. That is sweet. We're on the tabletop. Let that sit for 5 minutes or so, and then add more. That looks freaking awesome. But yeah, since like all of you are 3D printing people, if you go to Snow Labs, most of his good, and his filaments are decent. I like his filaments. I used to use it a lot. I just went to I started going to printed solid just because of price, and it was a little bit easier to get. But yeah, he's I think they're all like $19 a roll for his PLAs, ABS, and PETGs, or in that range, 19-20 bucks. I think some of the fancier colors might be a few bucks more, but filaments are good. And add more. Get a clean rag. This gets doused. Then it gets stashed for the night. Just lets it soak up the oil. I might even come out here tonight and hit it with some more oil. But yeah, snowlabs.com. It's SNO/labs. There's no W in the snow. It's just SNO. Oh my God, is that thing pretty? So I just out of the blue sent my cousin a picture of this. I hit it with the rubbing alcohol because he's kind of picky. He's a real high end, world class chef, but his wife's doing the entertaining. He's basically retired. Actually, I think he said he'd go back to work. But anyways, he bought her a really, really high end cutting board a couple years ago for Christmas, and they have a very particular decor. So when I made it, I wasn't sure if he was going to want it. I made this more for fun. I figured if he wanted it, he could have it. And I sent him a picture. He goes, "Oh, that's really nice." I get this, response, "Really nice." I'm like, "Is it your decor? Does it fit your decor?" He goes, "Yes!" Really, like exclamation points and everything. I was like, "Okay." I don't think he realized when I sent him the picture, I was making it for him. Not that not that I was, but I wasn't. I mean, if he didn't like it, I would have gladly made him something else. I did this I wanted to see if I could do this inlay, which is not easy. Sales are not going. Everything's gone. I gave it all away because it wasn't selling. Nothing sold. Nothing. Literally nothing sold from the store. All I got from that store was spam. I got a lot of spam emails. A lot of "let me help you increase your sales" bull crap. I'm a I'm the best advertiser in the world. I'll help you advertise your site. Yeah, go away. I did get sales through the site, sort of. I got a half a dozen. Those are really nice. I would like a custom one. Can you make one that looks like this? I got a bunch of those, so it sort of worked. The site's still there. I just shut the store end of it off because it was costing me like an extra $40 a month to have the actual store where they'll process credit cards and all that, and it just wasn't happening. So why pay for it? I may try it again later. I just wasn't into pushing it yet. I think if I push it more, it'll be more successful. I mentioned it here and there, but I didn't really push it. So I haven't gotten rid of the site. I kept the site. I just kicked it down to a website, not a store. And the stuff's all there. It's just you can't buy anything there. They won't process the credit cards or anything anymore, which is fine. It's just a display. I actually got an email from a girl. The name sounded familiar too. I think I know her from here in town. That's a craftsy person, and they're looking for. The town does like I don't know how to describe it, like a craft fair shop show tour, where local craftsperson. It's like a flea market, but the people come to your house. Like I would have to clean this up a little bit and put a display up and everything, but they actually, instead of going to a flea market and setting up a table, they every like 2 hours switch out and they say, "Oh, we're all going to this dude's house or this lady's house and check out her studio," and they show off your studio and they put you in the little local paper and all that crap. She hit me up this morning actually through the website and said, "You are local in Lyme, right?" I'm like, "Yep." She goes, "We want you to join the thing if you're willing." I'm like, "Well, when you get, she's like, there's still paperwork to do. We're looking at April or um, in that area to start really pushing it." And I'm like, "Well, when you get closer, let me know because yes, I'm sort of interested. I don't know if I want people coming up into my house, but that's all right. But it's kind of a show off your studio slash your workshop, and people come in and look around, and which I would have to clean this up a lot, but that's not a big deal. I plan on doing a lot of it anyways. And I'm hoping in the next month or two I can cover the walls and not see insulation anymore. I hate pink insulation. Still get pink fucking fluffy bunnies, pardon my French, off that fiberglass insulation and everything if you don't cover it. Even with the paper bond, it falls out of the ceiling. There's a piece there falling out of the freaking ceiling now. It just doesn't stay up there. So I'd have to do a little of that. Even if I just covered it in plastic, put black plastic up like I have over here. There's insulation behind there. All behind there. It's just, I originally put the plastic up, so I left it. I put the insulation on the other side and left the plastic there. I may just do that through the whole place. Save a few bucks, but get rid of the pink fuzzy bunnies. All right, what's next? That thing's all oiled up and looks freaking sweet. I need to put this in a baggie, which I don't have here. And I can just wrap it in this plastic for now. As long as I remember what's in it. I put it in the sanding box, I'll remember what's in it, right? That's funny. Me remember? That is funny. Yeah, I think I'm going to try again in like another month or two. Because again, this is a beach location. So trying to push sales around here, local wise now is just foolishness. It's a waste of time. But once the summer beachy traffic starts flowing through, I may even put a sign at the end of the driveway on the mailbox or something, and because believe it or not, that helps a lot around here. The only problem with that is my driveway is so long, people aren't going to be with it. It's crappy. It's really in bad condition. And I don't have the equipment to fix it right now. So getting people to come up my driveway is probably not a good idea. But that's life. More glue. So polyurethane, if thick enough, regular PVA glue really doesn't stick to. It will if it's enough of a grain, but it does break free pretty easily. And if you scrape up a little polyurethane, who cares, right? It's just a workbench, but I do like my workbench. Bong! You have mail. Maxon News. YouTube, you are live. Yeah, no, really? I didn't know that. Really wish they sent you an email that said, "You're still live, you dumbass. You didn't hang up." Because I did that once. Crawled into bed with my freaking stream still streaming in my room. It was funny for like 2 hours. All of a sudden I was getting emails and messages and text me, "Dumbass, you're still streaming, the camera's on." Like, oh, good. Luckily I was just sitting in bed reading. For like 2 hours it ran. Come on, Goose. Oh, that's really on there. That sucks. This was a nice clean edge otherwise. Got most of it off. Don't like glue on my bench. So, next, I have to play with that. What did I do with that piece of cherry? I put it over there. I have to decide how big I actually want it because I just cut it wherever that error was in the board, where the lumberyard screwed it up. And figure out how long I actually want to make it. I just put that thing away. I kind of need it. I really need to make the vise. Get some clamps. This whole slippery thing is not good. Need a way to clamp stuff down so I can do this stuff to it without it sliding around. I might have to do that today. Start on it at least. I've been kind of planning it on my computer in Fusion how exactly I want to build it because I think I'm going to. I don't know if you guys know what a Moxon vise is, but it's a dual wheel vise where you can cock it and you have two cranks. Basically, if you know what a Black & Decker Workmate is, it's sort of a Moxon vise where it has the two handles, so if something's out of shape. Anyways, you do it on the whole end. But I was going to take scrap woods, glue them together, and CNC the two wheel handle things and make them out of like random scrap woods, kind of like my cutting boards. I think that would look cool. And it would use up some of the scraps I got lying around that I can't find any use for. And I just don't want to get rid of because they're really expensive wood. And then I could use it up on something I'd like. But I got to make the actual vise. Maybe I'll do that instead of this. Actually, how long do I want to make this? Got to find my other little. I will square this up. Let's square this up. Where's my vacuum? Where's my miter box? Where's all the stuff in my way? There's always stuff in my way. Come on, wheel. Okay, what are you caught on? Because you're not locked. Caught on a cord somewhere? Let's see. It's just pivoting. Oh, it's caught on a block of wood. Okay, now I can get to the miter box. I gotta move a cord, one more cord. I gotta put a cord over there, so I'm not running the cord where I'm tripping on it. That's my next electrical wiring nightmare. Let's put the vacuum on here so I don't shoot sawdust all over the place like I did yesterday. And square up this edge somewhere. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I at least want it reasonable. And let's do this one now. Now it's sort of square. Sort of square. Now, when we glued this up, we were going to cut it to length. We were like, it's kind of scraps anyways. It really isn't, but it is. Because I didn't really pay for it because of the way they cut the board. But anyway, we were going to cut it to length and everything. And then my brother's like, why don't we just glue it all together and then just cut an end off and we'll make like a fruit board out of it. Even though the wood's going the wrong way, it'll be kind of cool. He was actually thinking of if I carve a pattern into it, to like have them together and carve the pattern continuing into it. So like if you put them up in the kitchen, they'd be side by side and they would look cool, all patterned together. But I don't think I'm going to do that because then when they're apart, it'll look weird. Like when you're looking at the cutting board that you're using the cutting board, to cut, it'll look funny because it won't have the whole pattern. It's actually not that bad. There's almost no wobble on that side. There's a little bit on this side, but I think that's glue as much as anything else. It may just be because there's a chunk right there. Come on off. You're really on there, aren't you? There we go. It could be this bench too. I know this bench ain't perfect. Although I did plane it recently. But it's sat. It's sure it's warping again by now. So if I cut it into a charcuterie board, or just a small cutting board, medium-sized cutting board, I could have a little fruit board over here. I think I'm going to do the pattern-y thing like I did with that other one in it. Just like I did the other one that I just did. I'm going to put it on the CNC and carve a pattern into it, and then clamp some thin strip color, which is why I made it solid cherry instead of different colors. How big do I want to make it? How big should I make it? What do you guys think? How big should I make it? I'm thinking if I go right at like 15, that leaves me this little weird looking 8-inch, almost square, 8 and a quarter, almost square little mini fruit board. Maybe I should make this just a hair longer then. Actually, no, you know what? I kind of like that. 15-inch cutting board is a good size. And again, it was originally the idea was for it to be a charcuterie board, not a cutting board. Did I hear somebody? Did I heard somebody? Nobody! There's nobody here, even though I'm hearing stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I make it into a long board? I could just leave it one big long board. Make it more like a serving tray. I mean, that's really long for a serving tray, but if I cut handles into it, it loses a little. I think I'm going to leave it. I kind of like it. Yeah. It's not all in my head. Oh, wait. Yes, it is. There's more in my head than you would know. I do keep hearing stuff, though. I wonder if someone's over there mowing or something. I keep hearing weird, like, motor noises. They're either blowing leaves or mowing or something. Which makes no sense because the sun just came out like an hour ago. It's been raining for like 3 days straight. Oh, maybe they're working down at the train tracks. Sounds like they're working down the train tracks when I listen to it. Train tracks are right at the end of my driveway. I mean, it's a half a mile away, but my driveway is half a mile long. Well, not quite. But yeah. Anyway. Google All right. I have to lay this out and punch it into the phone. So when I go inside and start playing with Fusion, I have a dimension to work with. So let's do that first. Come back here. Notes. Mice board's done. Cherry board. Whoops. Return that backspace, you dumbass. Okay, we are 591 millimeters. 591 by, and yes, I'm using millimeters by, because it's much easier on the computer to use millimeters. 270 by 33 by 33. That way when I punch it up into Fusion, I don't have to do the whole inches millimeter conversion thing. I just leave it in metric. Yes and no. Working my whole life in the States with feet and inches, when I'm building a house, feet and inches, like how do you say 40 meters, 10 centimeters, and 4 millimeters? I mean, do you literally say, it's easy to say 25 feet, 4 inches, 4.25 inches. You know what I mean? That's easier. For small stuff, millimeters, anything less than, a couple of feet, anything less than a meter, I'd rather use metric. Anything over a meter, I'd rather use feet and inches. Does that make sense? It's a lot easier to use feet and inches in long, anything over like 3 feet, a meter. Anything, once you hit a meter, it's like 1 meter, 7 centimeters, 5 millimeters. It's just stupid. Yeah, if you go 4 by 6 meters, but what happens if it's 4.15769 meters by 6.357 meters? It just, the meters become weird. I mean, I guess you can, and you would just say 6.45 centimeters, I guess. But then meters, I don't know. It just seems weird. Probably because I never used it, It just, when it goes into longer lengths, it just seems easier to use feet and inches. But anything like this, I'd rather use centimeters. I have absolutely no problem using millimeters and centimeters on the smaller stuff. It's way more accurate, way easier. Trying to figure out, especially with digital, like this is 24.25 or 23.25 inches. Okay, I know 1/4 of an inch is 0.25, but if it was just a little more or just a little less, it's hard to get it accurate with feet or with inches. Where smalls are easier with millimeters, centimeters. This is a dual purpose tape. It's got feet and inches and centimeters and millimeters on it. I think it's got meters too. It's a 10-foot 3 meter. They actually say meter at it. 90. Yep, 1 meter. I like this little stupid tape measure. It was like $4. I've had this for years. I literally bought this one day because years ago when Carter was still pushing for metric to take over the U.S. That's how long ago. I haven't had it quite that long, but just about. I would say I was in my 30s when I bought this. I'm pushing 58. And I've had it forever. I mean, that's all I really use it for. I've used it more since I started working out here than I ever did. It always sat in my van for when I needed to convert stuff. A lot of like furniture from overseas and stuff people were using and wanted to make their house or their kitchen or stuff fit. Especially with IKEA. I used to do a lot of IKEA kitchens. Believe it or not, IKEA kitchens. I will take an IKEA kitchen over an old Home Depot flat pack any day. Home Depot doesn't sell flat packs anymore, but neither does Lowe's. But the IKEA kitchens are not terrible. I mean, I'll take a cheap IKEA kitchen over a cheap Home Depot kitchen any day of the week. Easier to install, better quality. I like the having the screw-on adjustable feet built right into the cabinet without the toe kick built in. I like that you can just disassemble it and reassemble it in no time. You can get them made out of plywood instead of particle board, although it might as well just buy real cabinets at that point because it comes to the same price as a cheap, good cabinet, solid, real cabinet, not a flat pack. Anyway, should I work on this or should I start figuring out how I want to do my Moxon vise? I think I want to do the Moxon vise. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of. I've installed some IKEA kitchens, and every time I've done it dozens of times. Every time I go, oh crap, IKEA kitchens, and then you start using them, like, oh yeah, these are not bad. Like some of them, you can order them with the French cleat built in. God, I love French cleat kitchens. You put the French cleat on the wall. You build the whole thing if you got a couple, three guys. You build the whole thing sitting on the floor. A couple, three guys pick it up, click it into place, put some screws into it. You're done, and it's perfect. It's level. It's you're not sitting there trying to hold it up against the wall. Oh, they're easier. Longevity, I don't know. I've never owned one. I've never gone back to one 10 years later to see if how well it lasted. So I don't know about longevity, how nice they are. Although I did just pull one out, although it was only like 2 years old. Matter of fact, that's one of the last things I did with the dude I used to work for next door. Um, we pulled an IKEA kitchen out. Because the guy, he built a spec house and it had an IKEA kitchen in it, for a spec house. I don't know if you know what a spec house is, but companies build cheapo houses to just show them off. But they put pretty but cheap hardware in it. But then when they're all done selling the complex, like builders buy like 20 lots or a big piece of property and split it up into 20 lots, and they build a house to show you what they can do. That's their spec house. And all the things they're willing to do for you, or things they can do for you. 4.35 meters by 6.73 meters, or 430 centimeters, or it's just too many. It's confusing to me. Again, probably because I never used it. But anyways, IKEA kitchens are not bad. What I've seen, what I've installed. I've probably installed a dozen of them in my life. And they're always very easy. It's probably the fastest kitchen I've ever put in. And they look nice when they're done. Again, they're not the best in the world by far, but for an inexpensive, quick, easy. Right now, if I go to finish upstairs, which I'm hoping to do in a couple years, in here, there's actually an apartment up above my head with a kitchen. I actually got plumbing and everything all run, and there's plumbing going back to the house. It's not hooked up into the house, but it's all run underground to the foundation. All I gotta do is punch a hole in the foundation and run the pipe into the house and hook it up. If I ever went to do it, I was going to put an IKEA kitchen up there just to get it up, because it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it's far from expensive, and they look nice. They look halfway decent for your basic cheapo laminate painted kitchen. We actually, I said with my neighbor here, we actually, when we pulled it out and put the new kitchen in for the guy, we were just taking them to the garbage. And Dave, the guy I was working for, looked at him and he goes, "You know what? These are nicer than we have out in the shop, huh?" And I'm like, "Kind of, yeah." So he took them into the shop, pulled out our shop ones, and put the IKEA ones in the shop. They're still over there, probably. He sold the house a year ago and moved, but I have a feeling those IKEA cabinets are still in the shop. Because we had just like plywood boxes, like I have all in here and there for cabinetry and shelving. He's like, "These are kind of nice. Can we use them?" And I'm like, "Can't see why not. They'd look better than what we got in there for the shop. They're in better condition. They're not all beat up." So I think it's time to think about this pile of wood over here and what I'm going to use to make a Moxon vise. And this thing is exactly, if I remember correctly, just over 24 inches. Yep, 24-inch one. It's just how thick do I want it? The problem is I look at the ones that I can make the vise out of and I go, oh, that's a nice board. I don't want to just make a vise out of it. I could do something with that. And anything I don't want to actually make something out of, I don't really want to use on a vise either. Okay, this is red oak because it is super soft and light. What do we have here? Okay, this might be a contender. Right here, because this is a semi-nice piece. I mean, it's still a nice board. It's got a hole in it, though, which I don't care about on the vise. I might use the hole. It's not really super thick. It's only 1.125 inches. I would have to seam it. So I need at least 24 inches, which I ain't got. It's only got 35. It could be the jaw, maybe? Not quite thick enough. But we're going to bring it over here for a contender. And I could actually laminate this onto it to get a little thickness. We got this old ratty thing, which is all cracked, which that I can't have. I can have some of this. This is all the bug rot from when they had termites in the house. This has kind of got a warp to it, which if I cut it down, I can get rid of some of. If I rip it this way and re-glue it, you can straighten out the arc. So this is a contender. I think I just saw another one. This is too light. This is a contender. This might have to be a showpiece because this looks awesome. This is a nice piece of white oak. I can tell white oak from red oak just by picking it up. This is heavy. This little itty bitty 1/2 inch thick, what is it, 2 foot long board is freaking heavy. This is white oak. This feels lighter than pine. This is red oak. You can tell by looking at it too. You don't know what the difference is. If you look at the grains, red oak, which you can't see what I'm doing over here, but red oak has the actual pores are hollow. It's literally like a straw. You can actually take a straight green red oak and blow in one end, and air bubbles come out the other end if you put it in water. Where white oak, it won't. All the grain is filled with resin. That's literally the only difference between the two. It's not the actual color of the wood. And they're red oak and white oak because of the leaves, not because of the wood color. This is really crappy. I don't even know why I'm still saving it. This is a really long one because that's going all the way under all that other stuff. That's just a strip. This, I should finish this. This is that's black walnut in there. This is the cross piece to the coffee table, which is right here, and the legs are right here. And I just haven't gotten to finishing it because I haven't really decided how I want to finish it. What do we have under here? How long is this piece? That's pretty long. That is not oak. That is poplar. Put that back. Come on, get in there. It just came out, so I know you can go in. That would be poplar. I could probably use this for something. This is solid white oak here. This is a little thin piece of white oak. Is that long enough? It's very thin, and it's white oak. Is it 24 inches long? It is. All right, I think I got some stuff here. I have to make the actual jaw, which will be the actual vice clamp. Long enough? Just. And then I have to make, we got to pad the actual counter to take the vise, to have screws go through and actually hold it to the bench. So I think these will do just fine. I think I got what I need. They're almost the right heights. Because the mount needs to be the thickness of this countertop, shorter than the actual vise, which is, it's just an inch and a half, and I got more than an inch and a half. Oh no, I got just an inch and a half there. See, that's what I'm going to do. I think I'll clamp these two together. This will be frickin' heavy. I may actually want to make it a little bit thicker. Make this the vise and the clamp, because it's very pretty too, so it'll look nice. It does have some buggy holes in it, so I won't feel bad about using it. I think we're going to do some gluing and clamping, and I'm hoping I can clamp them together without even planing them or anything, because they're not straight. Any of them, particularly this one. So I really don't need it this tall. I can actually cut this down a little bit. I might actually cut this into 3 strips. That way, because this is cupped. When I cut it into 3 strips and then glue it back together, I can get rid of that cup. This is almost perfect as it is. So I'm just going to leave it. I need to cut it to length, but I'll do that after I glue this to it. And it's just going under here anyways. I think I can make this work. I think I want this to be a little thicker than this though. How much room do I have here? How much did I clear out? I can actually make that thicker, can't I? 8.5 inches. I can easily do. So I got here about 2, just over 2. You know what? Maybe I'll leave it. I may actually snip off the end of the table here, re-square it, because I rounded it all over so I didn't catch on it. Under here, I actually put it on the CNC. This is all flattened, and I flattened the top, I don't know, what, a month or 2 ago. I can see it's already bowing again. But it's fairly flat, and I know this is flat because it was less. It was only less than a month I did this. I flattened this area. It's like better underneath than it is on top because I flattened it on the CNC. I flattened it. What did Sergio get? Hey Tom, don't forget Astro Printer stream at 7. Oh, that's long. I won't be that long. I got about another half hour in me, and then I got to go back inside. Jake, Maddie, Jake, how is life? My man from across the pond. How is it across the pond? What is Sergio getting? Waiting for some approvals on estimates I sent out. Oh, Sergio's waiting for approval? I thought you just went and did it and then charged them whether they liked it or not. These are actually kind of straight. This is the worst one. This has got a little bit of a bow to it, but it's not terrible. Nothing I don't think I can clamp out. And if I take the two bows and I clamp them together to fight each other, which I think I can do with no problem, I think I can get rid of all the issues. And that's almost a perfect jaw. I think I actually want it a little bit thicker than this, but I'm over it. They're going to end up being like an inch. A little over. Almost an inch and a half. Which I'm okay with. I wouldn't mind a little thicker. Do I have another chunk I can add on to? Seam it in there. Make it a little thicker. I don't see anything I want to use. Kind of actually gotten through a lot of this wood already. A lot of the bad oak. The bench ate up a lot of the bad oak. That's what I used on that bench was bad oak. I wonder if I can use this. Is there enough left over to stitch it on there? There almost is. And if I put a slight angle on it, that would be enough. And then I could make it like thicker. Be just over 2, it'd be right around 2 inches by the time I planned it and everything. Probably a little under. I think I like that. I think we might have to do a little cutting and then a little gluing and then a little having fun. Do a little dance, sing a little song. What was that? It's not do a little dance. Sing a little, do a little dance, sing a little song. Get down tonight, something like that. Anyway, I think we're good. I think we're gonna work this right here. I think we're gonna make it work. I think we're gonna make it all work. I think that's what we're gonna do. So first things first, this is a very rough edge. This is a very rough edge. And decide which edge I like more. They're both terrible on that side, but it ain't gonna matter underneath there. I'll just space that in. I mean, I can plane it off, but it doesn't really need to. And cut it to match this thing. So all I gotta do is cut the length. That thing's pretty much milled to place. So let's run it through the jointer. It's gonna get very loud, folks. Oh, it's quieter now with its new belt and new head. Oh, it's making a weird clank. We rebuilt the whole thing the other day, and I cannot find where it's coming from. I have no idea where it's coming from. I wonder if it's going to do it now. It's going to get loud, guys. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing over here, can you? Because I got the camera pointed over at the log pile. Here, let's move the camera. You can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to run the jointer. If you don't know, for Christmas, my brother Chris bought me a new helical cutter head for this. And it just came in like a week ago, and I put it in the other day. I also put a belt I have. Complete cutouts. And no, I was just joking. I put a link belt on it too, so it runs a little quieter. Now it's making a weird clunky noise. Like every 10th time I start it, it makes like it sounds like metal on metal almost. And I am going to need to take a bigger bite because this will take too long otherwise. Get my damn loose sleeves out of the way. Put the safety glasses on because I know those will shatter if I get hit in the head or in the eye. Just start on this side. Now I have a nice, clean, straight edge. To put it on the table saw and cut it out of the table saw to make it out of the table saw. Oui, oui, mademoiselle. Put the bandsaw blades back where they were coming from. And I think what I'll do is not kill myself and use the wrong edge and cut this a little big. And hopefully it doesn't pinch too much and kick back on me because I don't have a riving knife. This is where it gets dangerous on the table saw. Just so you know, this is curled and you can't see the table saw because I'm pointing the wrong way. Let's bring you over to the table saw. Oops, not that way, this way. Okay, now you can sort of see the table saw, right? Because this is curled, if I rip it through, it could drop down and pinch and shoot out and kill me, or at least do damage. But I'm going to go for it anyways, because I know how to do it. If you have a riving knife, it's less likely to hurt you. But I don't have a riving knife on this 1996 table saw. So I'm going to stand off to the side. Notice I'm behind the fence. Here's the line of the fence. So if it shoots out, it's going to hit you guys. It's going to take out the camera. It will take out the camera. And that will match up to that. But I did leave it. I didn't leave it long enough. I do think I'm going to run it down the middle one more time though. Just to do I have enough? Yeah, I'll make it be enough. Basically, because it's kind of bowed and propellered. If I run a line down the middle, I can drop it down. I can joint the edge so it's nice and tight, and have it flat. How bad is it? Can I just run it through the joiner right now? Kind of a lot. How much would I lose? Why is the door opening? I must not have latched it all the way. Either I got ghosts opening the door. Is it snowing out? Frickin' sun's out. There's snowflakes. It's not supposed to snow today. What's up with that snow crap? I don't like snow crap. Let's see, where am I at? Just short of 5 inches. If I go to about 2.5, a little less, feed it through again, I can flatten it out. Hear that hop? That's so dangerous hop. That oh so dangerous hop. Now I have much less wobble, so I can run it through the joiner. Wow, that's got a lot. It's got almost all of it in that one piece. That's all right. That's okay. Maybe I'll add another thickness to it. But now I should be able to joint this on the jointer over here. And I'm going to need the paddles for this. Square it up and flatten it out somewhat. I'm not worried about it being perfectly the same thickness. All I want is flat, gluable joints because I'll run it through the planer after. Actually, I want to raise it back up. I don't want to take. You know what? Maybe I do want to take a lot. I think I'm going to take a lot. Got a hump in the middle. Gotta work out the hump. I'm going to take that much out of it. Yeah, a little bit of a twist to it. I think I got rid of most of it. Square up and in. I can do both. That way I don't have to worry about it when I gotta do it up. I can use whichever one I want. Here's one. And that made it a good 8th thinner. Let's do this one now. This one shouldn't be as bad. Yep. It'll be easier. Yeah, I got my table up. The table a little too high. That. This up. And there we go. I should have some nice renewable seams there, and that is beautiful. It's almost exactly the same thickness as that now. You know, the joints will be beautiful. I'm not worried about the height because I'll just run it through the planer when I'm all said and done gluing it. But I will cut this hole out and then just glue it into the middle. Moving the vacuum, and I might run this through the joiner after too. I haven't perfectly set this thing since I put the blades in. I was saying about the outfeed table being a little too high. I might have to adjust that. How flat is this puppy? Got a little wobbly wobble to it. Not terrible. A lot less on this side. Is there a preferred side? Not really. So if I make this my glue up side, it's the flat side. Gloomy. Gloomy. And then I take these two and I glue them onto that because, you know, it said gloomy, so let's be glued, right? Am I alternating my grain here? Yeah, because it used to be this way, right? Or was it this way? Or was it this way? No, that's the edge. It was just like that. So that's not what I want. I want this. That way it alters the grain a little bit and won't warp out. So that's pretty much ready to be glued up. Put that aside. Let's start thinking about this here one. Which this one, I don't think I got to do anything. I think I can just glue it and clamp it. It's got a little bit of a bow, but it's not bad enough to worry about. Do I want to add a little extra thickness to it? I do. I think I might even want to add a little extra thickness to that. That might be even more important. And that's almost the perfect size. Because the mounting area under here needs to be stronger than the jaw. That's at 2.5. I think that's just what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to glue this onto that in the middle. Oh, it can be longer than that. And I think I'll take the old crap off of this because it's old and crappy. And it should fit on my little Jenka, even though it's a little Jenka. Need a vacuum. The only bad part of this little underpowered dust collector is got to keep switching the vacuums out. Stick my finger in the blade, yeah. That's not touching. That's not touching. They should be touching. It's a little too high. Where's the little adjusting knob? And I gotta go this way, right? That's bringing it up. That's too low. It's too high. Literally just changing the crank direction raises it and lowers it too much. Okay, it's definitely too low. Can't tell if that's hitting the board or right there. It's going to look good. Let's give her a shot. That was much better. I believe that's good. Freaking awesome. Got a little bit right here. Should I take it off? Don't really need to. It's way too long. I want to use that end. So I put that in the middle. These two on top. That one in the middle. That one on the bottom. That is one solid chunk of okie oak. I really want to make this a little beefer. After I plane it and everything, I'm going to be like right at an inch. I want to add beef. Where's the beef? I want to add some beef. Wish I had more of this, which was right here. This I think I'm going to glue up right now. I may not have enough clamps to do them both anyways. So I think I will glue this up right this very second, because this is ready. This can go away. So I might use it for something else. Gloomy. It says gloomy. So let's glue it. What's chat going on? Did I miss something? Llama on YouTube now. Why are you on YouTube now? Go back to Twitchy. Twitchy's where I make my money. I don't give a shit. Do I have a side? Yeah, let's go with this one. And the glue goes on. Lots of glue. Tons of glue. Too much glue. Glue, glue, glue. Did I just bring a brush out? I swear I did. Gotta clean it. I love these silicone brushes. You just rub it on your hand and all the glue pops off. You get these really cool, like little honeycomb freaking pieces. It's awesome. PVA glue does not stick to silicone at all. It just don't like it. Not in the slightest. Hopefully I can clamp this thing up and get it all straight and true and yummy. At least close enough. You guys actually see what I'm doing here? Not that it matters, because nobody's probably watching anymore. Gluing. We're just gluing it up. My brother would be so happy right now. He'd be like, I knew it, you be gluing. He like has this thing like I like to glue. I actually do like to glue shit up. It's fun to glue shit up. So this way, that's almost exact same length and everything. Or width, I mean. There it is. About that one. That's all the glue I need. I don't need to glue the whole board because the board's longer than these boards. Glue! Spread the glue. Glue is good. It's very gooey. That's why they call it goo. Because it's gooey. Gooey, gooey, rich and chewy insides. One cookie I never liked. They were like soggy cookies. Big Newtons. Ugh. And it's not the flavor, it's the texture. It's like the minute it goes in my mouth and I bite into it, my brain immediately thinks, oh my God, that's an Oreo that's been in the back of some pickup truck for like a year out in the rain. Then we got to do this edge. so they glue together like an edge. Now that I got it all planed and straight and all that. Not planed, jointed. It's jointed, man. Oh, and I did it upside down, didn't I? Gosh darn it. I did, didn't I? Yep, I sure did. Don't want to glue to the unfinished face. This one's going to go this way. And that's the way it goes. Time for some clamps. Lots and lots of clamps. Like, probably more clamps than I got. All said and done. First things first, let's make sure these go together nice and tight. You'll probably do that with just 2 clamps. Glue on the clamp. The clamp is gluey. There's glue squeeze out the whole length of it, so those will work for that. And then let's enclamp it. Clamp it all together now. All together now. All together now. Clamp it together now. Oh yeah. Oozy, gluey, rich and chewy. Let's see, let's work this way. Stagger that so I don't have to hit my knuckles on it. That would be a better idea, huh? And we have more of these. I gotta get some more of these little ones. They're cheap. They're like $5, $6. Because all I got is bigger ones now. Need more 6-inchers. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to glue the other one up because then I have to use all really long ones. And I'm almost out of, I don't have that many of these. Stagger over, it did. See if I can push it over without unclamping the whole thing. It went over, sort of. Enough that I don't care. Enough that it will work. Let's see if we can pull it over here because it slid a little. Straighten it out. I don't get well because everything's clamped. But I'm going to give it a shot. So it's sliding a little bit. A little bit. Better. All right. Step 1 of the Mox and Vice build. Ooey gooey gluey newy gooey. Very gooey. It's all very gooey. What's up, non-fam? How is life? Of the fam of not, of nons, of non-famming. I think that'll work. I'm gluing up some big chunks to make a Moxon vise, and you can't even really see it, but I'm going to put a Moxon vise right on the end of this bench. And I prepped the bench like a month ago, about a month ago. I prepped it underside of the bench, and then it just sat and waited. And now I'm gluing the mount for the underside of the bench, and then I will glue the actual vise together later. But I think I'm going to pad that up thicker too. This thing's freaking heavy! Ugh. That was heavy with all the clamps and all the oakery edge. Oakland boys. Oakland Street boys. What the hell are they? Oak something boys. The old country music from like my mother and father's age. Probably too far ago for all you people. Doing okay. What are you working on? I'm working on a Moxon vise for the end of my bench to go right there. It's going to go up underneath and make it so I don't have to fight sanding and clamping and everything anymore. Matter of fact, if you watched at the very beginning of the stream, which obviously you weren't here, you wouldn't be asking, I was sanding a couple boards and they were just, sliding around on here. So I'm going to put a Moxon vise. I was planning on it. It's all milled under here. It's all flattened from the CNC. I CNC'd the bottom half of it, like 6 inches in. And going to mount a Moxon vise on it and put some dog holes in it there, and probably half a dozen dog holes here. I'm not going to put a bunch of dog holes. I hate dog holes in the top. They're useful to use. I hate them in the top because dust and crap gets in them and they're a pain in the butt, but they're good to use. So I will put a vise on it so I have an actual vise. It'll be a big, long, 2-foot long Moxon vise with dual screws, which is what makes a Moxon vise, is having 2 screws. And that way, if something's, if the wood's not perfectly flat, like if you have a weird tapered leg, you can still clamp it in a Moxon vise. That's the whole point of a Moxon vise. Or you can put really, really long boards in it and have them held. Anyway, Moxon vise. I'm putting a Moxon vise on my bench top. And the next thing I got to do is figure out how I'm going to pad the jaw part up more. This will be the jaw. That will actually be seen right here on the end of the bench. Go right there on the end of the bench. But I think I want to add another layer. This is a little too thin. I mean, it's thick, but by the time I plane it and glue it and shape it and everything, I think I'm going to be below an inch. And I want to be, I'd really like to be an inch and a half, and it's not even an inch and a half yet. So, and I really like these 2 boards. They look pretty. This one's got all the buggy crap in it, but I can bury that inside it. That looks okay. And this looks really sweet. That's a nice chunk of oak. Actually, I know a lot of people don't. I like the sapwood. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I like the line and the color changes, especially when you finish it. So I think I'm going to mount it that way. Although it does make the greens go the same freaking direction, don't they? Yeah, that's not a good idea. If you look, the grains are both arcing. When the grains arc the same way, if it's arced this way, the tips it's like wings. If the arc's up and down, it'll wing up. If the arc's down, it'll wing down. It's always a wing from the center. So if you can see the center core of the tree, and you can see the rings will, as they dry, will expand up. I mean, this stuff's wicked dry already, but although I have a piece I glued up and it all cracked. So I don't know how dry it actually is. Probably got wet sitting here. Well, it sat outside for a while too here. When I first brought it, I almost didn't mill it because it was so crappy. And I did throw out a lot of it. Probably a third of it got tossed. Some of it went into this bench. This bench is all the garbage. If you look on the underside, it's all like, it's an inch and a half thick bench, but it's really only like 3/4 of an inch of good material. A lot of it is like termite eaten crap that I just poured glue and resin and whatever I had laying around. Literally, there's some glue, there's some resin. I just poured it in there to make it rigid, stiffen it up. So no care underneath here. It's very rough. It's good for cleaning the glue off my fingers. Wow, didn't think of that. Taking the glue right off my fingers. Sanding it right off. What else do I have over there? Do I have another piece about this wide? It could be a little wider. It could be two little pieces, a little thinner. Okay, there is somebody here now, and they're here, and it's Amazon. I'm going to have to go get my Amazon. I will be right back. I'm going to even let you watch. I'm just going to mute it in case he says something funky. We won't let the Amazon guy get in trouble. Amazon! I don't even remember what I ordered. It's all stuff for out here, if I remember correctly. Actually, my brother ordered it, not me. I don't even remember what I'm getting. Oh, base plates for the outlet. We'll have to put those on now. And I don't remember what this is either. I ordered legs. There's no actual legs under my table saw. Oh, I forgot about this. This was a stupid purchase for $10. This thing was like 10 or 12 bucks. I've been thinking about adding my iPhone to these streams. Like I was moving the camera around earlier, where if I had my iPhone, I could do the multiple things. And I've printed a couple of them for the tripod the camera's on now, but then I only have that tripod and then switch the tripods. So it was like, I don't know, 10 or 12 bucks, I think. And it actually had some high ratings. And when it comes to reviews on Amazon, I really don't pay attention to them unless there's like thousands. If there's 100 and they're all good, I'm like, yeah, maybe okay. If there's 100 and it's 50-50, I'm like, okay, it's not a great product. But it's a little iPhone tripod, so I could carry the iPhone around and use it for a spare camera. It actually goes up pretty freaking high. It goes up almost as high as that one. That'll go up another foot or so. It's a little wobbly, but I expected that. For, I don't know, it was like 10 bucks, 12 bucks. It was cheap. Lock, unlock, lock. What am I locking? What's unlocked? Oh, the legs. I see. So you can lock them like halfway up and make them a tripod, or you can unlock them and bring them all the way down. I don't know. For $10, I think it's going to work just fine. I'm assuming this thing pivots and just kind of squirrelies onto here, and it's got a regular quarter 20 camera thingy. I'm hoping it'll handle my big iPhone case. It's just spring loaded, so I'm not going to say it's super secure. What did I do with my iPhone? What did I do with my phone? I have 3D printed a few. Oh God, that's stronger than I thought. That actually has a pretty good grip on it. I think that's usable. You guys can't even see it, can you? Because I got it way up in the air. You can sort of see it, right? And it's not a full ball head. It's only a weenie, but I can make that work. Bong, Amazon, your stuff was delivered. Yes, I know. I picked it up. Altitude. Thanks, Amazon, for letting me know what I already knew. What else is in here? Oh, another. Oh, it's a remote. I forgot about that. It's a remote, too. Wow, this might actually be halfway decent. I expected this to be total garbage. And a waste of $12. I'm pretty sure it's $12. Oh, it's got a GoPro mount. And then this thing's supposed to be for iOS shutter. I have no idea how that works. Maybe if I read the directions. This must be the directions for the little operator-y thing. I wonder if it's Bluetoothy. Step 1, pairing. Turn the remote on with the power switch located on the side. Do I have to, does it light up or anything? Do I have to pull like a pull tab out of the battery or something? I don't see a pull tab. Which means the battery's probably dead, because who knows how long it's been sitting in the package. Oh, lights are blinking. It's got a little blue light blinking. Step 2, using. Pairing. I'm back to pairing. Blue light will flicker. Turn on the phone's Bluetooth setting and connect to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Come on. Bluetooth. Turn Bluetooth on. Usually turn it off. Other devices. Ubi size. Pair. The LED light should stop flickering. I guess. I think all it's doing is the volume though. There's like a little thingy popping up, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's just the volume. It's not actually turning on the camera. Using. Let's read the directions. Open the phone's camera app. Press the button associated with the phone's operating system. Well, if your camera does not respond, it may not be compatible. Oh, it took a picture. And it's video recording. Now, I wonder if it'll work with, that don't matter. I can use it to make videos with it. That'll be all right. Yeah. Not really what I cared about, because if I use it like I'm planning, it'll just be on like a camera. It'll be a video camera, not a single, still shot on off thing. But whatever, it's cool. And it came with a GoPro one and the little remote, which again I don't really care all that much about, but it's free. And I got this, so I can now stream with my phone in a completely different location in the garage. And let's invite myself. Copy. I need my reading glasses instead of my safety glasses to read this. Copy. Copied. Let's send myself an email. Create. To me. Let's see. Let's do the Comcast one. We'll do it from there. Subject. Stream. Send myself the stream link. I think there's a faster way to do this. Like I can do it right on the phone to the Mac because they're both connected, but I can't remember how. Bong. And then I should be able to close all this crap, go into email, inbox, stream, click on the stream, enter the stream, allow, enter. And there we are. Oh, and it's going to feedback. Because I got to put headphones on. Well, let's abort that, leave. Sorry about that. But I know it'll work. I forgot I got to hook headphones up to it because the freaking iPhone with StreamYards. I don't know what it is with StreamYards, but it will not let you turn the speaker all the way down. It just won't. I don't get it. It's not the system, it's StreamYards because nothing else does it but StreamYards. And it's not like it's just StreamYards. It makes no sense. And they still haven't fixed it, which is weird. But it will work. I just have to connect. I just take a pair of headphones and connect it to them and just leave them over in the corner. So in theory, I could put this like over in this corner where I can also plug the phone in and charge it. And have a view of the room from a different angle when I go to do it, which would be cool because then I don't have to constantly keep moving that camera around. Where I can put it over there, and then I can plug it in and just leave it over in the corner when I'm streaming. No, you can't mute the speaker. It won't let you. It's bizarre. The iPhone will not mute. It doesn't work. It won't work, and it's only with StreamYards. It's not the OS. It's not. It was like, oh, it's an iPhone. It's got nothing to do with the iPhone because it doesn't do it anywhere else but with StreamYards, which means it's fucking StreamYards. Just because they don't want to deal with the iPhone. But it will work. I will make it work. I've worked it before. I make it work. I hook up one of my sets of earbuds. I got like 2 other sets of cheapo earbuds. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the iPhone. It's StreamYards. The iPhone lets me turn the volume down. The volume goes down. StreamYards just keeps picking it up for some reason, even though the volume's down. I can disconnect. I can mute it. It won't do it. And everything on the iPhone says it's muted, but StreamYards keeps picking it up. If I go through like, what's the other one? Restream? Is that it? It works fine. I can do the same thing, but I can shut it off. StreamYards won't let you. It's StreamYards, damn it. Water. Water's good. Okay, what am I going to do with this whole menagerie? I really want to add another layer to this. But I kind of like these two boards, so I want it to go on the inside. Even though these aren't really smooth on the inside, I'll just add extra glue. I almost want to put like black walnut in there and really piss my brother off. Waste some black walnut on it. This really needs to be planed down a little more. Get rid of this. It's almost exactly the right length, right? Yep. But I don't care because I really like this. I want this to be outside. What else do I got over there that I can cut up? That's about half this width and twice as long. Then I can just cut it in two, like I just did the other one. Put it in between here, and have a seam in the middle, which will make the whole thing stronger. That way I don't have to plane anything. I do have a really long piece right there. That was supposed to be my screen door. I think these are actually supposed to be my screen door too, now that I think about it. That's all right. Obviously the screen door is not happening. What is this piece? Well, so crackulated. It's almost too thick now. Hum-de-dum. So I could rip this off right here, and then rip it in half and make, have a seam here in the middle. I don't care about that, especially if it's in between these two. It's just fill. I mean, it is structural, but the glue's stronger than the wood is. And it is kind of ratty and a little crack down there. It's got a bunch of nail holes in it, knots. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to glue that in there. I'm going to leave this one on the outside, like I have it, because I really like the sapwood showing here. I think that looks cool. Put this in the middle, all seamed, and then this one on the inside, or this one on the inside. I actually like the sapwood look. I don't care if other YouTubers don't. So, first things first, where's my vacuum on the jointer? I want it on the miter box. Let's bring it over to the miter box. Oh, come on, chair. I gotta find a different way to get a chair in here. This thing is a pain in the ass. See, this is where the iPhone would be great, because I wouldn't have to do this. Let's see. I want it about this long. How much of this do I want to cut off? I cut it right here. That should be good. Vacuum, 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 baby. Cardboard boxes in the way. These are good scrap lumber boxes. The bag can just go in the garbage. Do we have a garbage can right here? I do. Thought I did. So I'm going to snip that right here. That will go right here. Like so. And then I need to rip this into pieces to fill. I got that stupid crack there, but that should be, is that enough? Yeah, that's enough. So if I cut it right on the edge of this crack here, I can rip this and scratch out the middle. Yeah, baby. That'll work. See if I can shoot a board across the room. Because I have a feeling this one's going to pinch. I thought the other one was going to pinch and it didn't. It didn't pinch on me. Vacuum. Even though it doesn't really work on a table saw because this thing is all wide open in the back, but it catches some of it. Keeps it from building up inside as badly. Tried to pinch, but I wouldn't let it. He wanted to be a pincher, but I wasn't having any of it. Yeah, that'll work. Crappy crap. I'll straighten that out first, even though I really don't need it to be. Let's resize this. And cut that out. Whoops. I don't want to unlock that. I want to just cut it. And there we go. This is all finished and everything. I can flush that up. I can flush that up and take it out of the middle here somewhere. Just because. To put the nut holes where I just cut it together. That'll work. I can get rid of that nut. I can just get rid of that nut. I'll have the drill hole in there, the nail hole, but who cares? Who cares? Vacuum. Who cares, right? It's just a clamp. A vicey clampy thing that I'm just going to beat the snots out of anyways. It's a vicey clampy thing. Actually, I can put those two holes inside now. I thought I could. What did I do? Take the wrong edge off? I did. Oh well. Oh, did I make it too short? Nope. Made it just the right length. I think that'll work. And then just set this on top. And everything should be hunky and dory. And I shouldn't need to plane any of that because it's all from the same board that was planed already. Even though it looks like it's going to be a little loose. When this bows down, because it's got a slight cup, when I clamp it, it will stay. And there's my vice jaw. And do I want to just glue it up and be done with it and use all the really long clamps? I have plenty of mid-sized clamps. I think I'm gonna. I got a bunch of 1 foot and 18 inch. I just don't want to go to the 3 foots. I do have the 1 foot bar clamps over here. Yeah, I got enough clamps. Let's glue it. Let's do it, baby. Let's just do it to it. I think I'm gonna snip a little of this off since I got the saw ready. I actually think it was cleaned and everything. I just don't know how good it stayed. But the heights are good. It's all good to itself. I think I'm going to leave it because then I'm going to have to plane it and join it. And I think I'm just going to leave it. It's close enough for a frickin' vise. Right? Am I right? Is it close enough for a frickin' vise? I think it is. Let's do some gluing. Let's get gooey. Do I have to get another brush? Is this still too wet? Or too dry now? Nah, it's alright. If there's any hard part other than right here, we'll just call it Phil. Not John, but Phil. Because it's filling. We're going to fill this hole right here with glue. Again, it's just a vise. And all these bug holes with glue. You'll squeeze right in there good enough and hold it together. I mean, there's enough material here that I'm not too worried about it. And it's way bigger than it needs to be. I'm probably going to be cutting an inch or so off of this whole thing. I just oozed off a whole bunch of glue, didn't I? I did. It's not. Let's see, we did. Spread the glue. I like to glue. Spread the glue, and I want to leave a puddle in there where that recess is. Spread the glue. We like to glue. It makes the boards really, really strong. I didn't even check the grain. Oh well. I don't think it's going to matter on this too much. Should I check the grain? Which way do I want the grain going? I kind of want it going this way, which is all right. Yeah, that'll work. Set that on there. Glue up some edges. Little gooey. Gooey, gooey, rich and chewy. That goes there. And that goes there. On this instead of that, because then those pieces don't have to slide all around while I brush it on. Gooey, 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 goo. It's a goo. I should have just gotten out the gallon. It's taking too long squeezing out of the little glue bot. Glue bot. I love that glue bot. So much better than. I had a guy going, why do you use a glue bot? Just use a ketchup bottle. Everybody has ketchup bottles. It's like, yeah, I got 24. I used to buy ketchup bottles in dozen boxes, like cases of them, and they are cheap, and they work. But every time you get to the bottom of the bottle, you're sitting here doing this for an hour to get any glue out. Where with the glue bot, it feeds from the bottom, so you just turn it and squeeze, and out it comes. It will keep coming out until there's literally almost nothing left. There's no turning it upside down and smacking it like the Heinz ketchup bottle. You just squeeze, and it's worth the whole $7. But if I got a big one, I got the medium-sized one, and I got the small one because I like them that much. Not kidding. 100% serious. Which side do I want on the top, and which side do I want on the bottom? I think I want this to be the bottom. I like so. Because I'm going to be putting that seamed piece on the bottom probably, so you don't see it. And let's start it a clamping. I got glue all over my hands now. Let's see. Let's start with these, and then move on to these. These monstrosities will clamp it down with no problem. I actually kind of want to put them in the middle. They got way more, actually, do I? I don't know. They got way more balls than a normal clamp. See, clamp. Get it somewhat lined up. It's all going to move on the glue anyways. And no, I don't put salt in there. I just don't think that's a good idea. I don't trust the reaction salt has with the glue. Just don't trust it. And let's put a couple more over here of the big ones, because it's all bologna out of shape. I gotta clean these things. I got glue on them. Come on. Clean. Come on, you. Clampity clamp, clamp, clamp. Clamp me, clamp you. This edge is actually looking pretty good. I'm not going to screw with it. Let's see, I have a couple more of the big ones here, right? No, they're longer. Are they longer? No, that should have been in the other pile. Well, clampity clamping. Oozy gluing. Glue oozing. It's got it all over me. I got the paper towel. Hey, every chance you get, which is not too often. No, I don't read chat too often. What am I missing? Especially when I'm going, because you only have so much work time. But I'll stop. Had a blow out my truck yesterday. Tires have $5,000. Oh, you're printing a vase? Cool. I should send that to Sergio too. He can print it for his wife. I made a heart vase, a Valentine's vase, another one, last year. I just got a text message. That must be from Sergio. I'm not going to switch it because last time I did that, I lost the mic on the computer. New ketchup bottles stay upside down. Yeah, but they ooze out. Then the thing gets gunky. Believe me, for $7, glue bots are the bomb. They are worth every freaking penny. I've done the glue bottles for 100 years, as probably you have too. I'm sure. I'm sure Sergio's done some gluing in his days. But the glue bots are definitely for this kind of work. I have cases of ketchup bottles upstairs, like some brand new ones. I actually got. I should use it on this. I have a whole kit that goes to a ketchup bottle. I should have used. This is what I actually should have used on these. I got a roller, and it feeds right onto the roller, and you roll it out. And then I got a different size roller, and this actually isn't a roller. This is a different thing. I got all kinds of tips, and I got a biscuit joiner, and I got a whole glue that goes onto a regular ketchup bottle. And I never use it anymore because that's easier. It's just easier, better. It just is. It's just better. Just better. I think I'm going to just squeeze this together right here and then take the clamp off of it. I think it'll stay once I get it in there. Well, maybe I'll leave it on there. Where is the seam? Right here. Where I joined those two together. I should be able to bridge over that. When you squeeze that together right there, and that'll make that a nice tight joint. Then I can go back to clamping it down. Tight there, tighten off. Tighter than this one. Time for some taller clamps. More clamps. Should I use bar clamps? I think I'm gonna. I got these shorter. I actually have longer ones of these too. The problem with these is I can't keep it standing there like that. Yeah, let's use some tall ass clamps. Screw it. I have enough of them. They're only. Oh, I got more 18 inches too. Just saw that. And I got these. Just getting longer, that's all. I like using the F clamps for this, just because the way I have it sitting there, I can just keep tucking the F clamp under it and not move it off the table. Or if I use a bar clamp or some other kind of clamp, the head's going to hit the table and I'll start rocking around and all kinds of bad crap will happen. Maybe this works. They aren't too that long. They aren't too bad along. And the glue keeps oozing out, so I gotta be doing a good thing. And they're getting a little longer now. Just a little bit longer now. Just a little bit longer now. I could always put a call on here and use that. Probably got more clamping pressure on it. Oh well. Live and learn. Too late now, man. middle a little more. Spread it out a little. Actually, nope. This thing's arced. I know it is. It's cupped, so I want to do it from the outside because the inside naturally, because of the cup, going to apply pressure on the inside because of the way it's cupped. Right? Right. If you don't believe me, too bad. Because I really don't know what I'm talking about. So you could be right. But then again, you might not be. Now I actually have to figure out how I'm going to do all this. Oh, the neighbor's driving away. Hi, neighbor. Bye, neighbor. I didn't even know she was home. I thought she was still working. I wonder if she brought the garbage cans in. Otherwise, I got to go down and do it. I don't want to leave them out empty. You know, it's supposed to be windy tonight. There we go. That's clamped enough, I think. Probably not, but it's going to have to do. Because all I got is like 4-foot long clamps now. Ooh, I got one more of these I could put on there if I really, really wanted to. And it's a biggie, so I just might. I really don't have the room for it. Do I need it? Not really. I got a good squeeze out everywhere, like way too much squeeze out everywhere. So I think I'm good. I think I can put one clamp away. How's that sound? Left over is one medium clamp and I don't know 6 or 8 humongous clamps. I'm getting glue all over the place. Wouldn't you know? Let's get this thing out of here. Let it ooze onto the floor. And now I can go back to chat. Dear Thomas, do you ever read the chat? No. Very seldom. It's a clamp fest. Yep, it was. Now it's a cleanup fest. A cleanup over squeeze out fest. Wasted glue fest. Wish there was a way you could recycle glue. Wouldn't that be cool? But it's not happening. I should have just let that dry, then they would have popped off. Dumbass. I don't even think I have water out here. I don't. What do I have? Because I do want to clean it up. I have Windex. I'll clean it up. Now I spread it out. If you let it just sit there and dry, you can pop it off because it doesn't actually like it here. Where I freaking wiped it like a dumbass while it was still wet. It pushes into the grain. So I'm better off actually cleaning it up. But Windex will pull up HPAV, or yeah, whatever they call it, HPAV glue or whatever they fucking call it. Pardon my French. Tight bond. It's a tight bond. HPA, HPVA, HAVPA, I don't know, something like that. It's glue, man. It's wood glue. Printing filament spools. No, it's not unprintable, Sergio. It's I'm having a couple people test print it first because it literally came to me last night and I started it and fucked it all up. Pardon my French. And then this morning I got up wicked early, was having my coffee, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try it again. And I spent an hour making it again. And now I'm passing it out to a few people just to try it. It should be fine. Because I printed it with no problem. But the problem is my printers are, I got 0.6 and 0.8 nozzles. I was going to do it on the one you got me, but it wouldn't print it because it's not printing right now. I tried. It failed like everything else. So I've been sending it out to a few people just to try their different printers. I'll send it to you later when I go back inside. A link. It's just on my Google-y thing. Unless Jerry wants to just send it to you, he can send it to you. He's got it. It's just on my Google Drive. If you have the link, you can download it. It's a little Valentine's Day vase. It's very cute. Nothing super special, but it's a little bit different than anything I've done before. And it's, Valentine's-y. I still think the ones I did a couple of years ago were better. I really like the two I did, I don't know, what, 3, 4 years ago? They're still pretty popular. They always get downloaded pretty heavy about this time of year. They had like, I don't know, 8 or 10 downloads until about a week ago, and now they're up to like 60 or 70 downloads each. Already in less than a week. And I'm sure more, because they are nice. I think I did a nice job designing those. They're just different. They're not the same old, same old. Anyways, what time is it? It is 4:15. It's still early. It's still early. It's still early. Kind of early. I just thought of something. My StreamYards account, last year at Christmas, they did the $10 for the first tier account, $10 a month instead of 25. And the year's up because I did it at Christmas last year. Because they did the special at Black Friday, and then they did it again at Christmas last year. And I snagged it at Christmas because I was like, you know what, I'll stream. And I'm wondering if I'm going to start getting whacked because I notice it still says StreamYards up here, where that's the catch with the $10 one. If you pay $25, the word StreamYards goes away. But if the $10, the word StreamYards stays there. And I wonder if they're going to just let me keep up the $10 one and just keep it going, or if it's going to, now it's been a year, it's going to revert to the $25 a month one, which is, I'll cancel it at that point because I ain't chilling out $25 a month. I don't stream that much anymore. And hell, I don't even need StreamYards because I don't group stream like we used to anymore that much. I'm always out here alone, so I could just use OBS or something. And I can't use OBS on this, but there's something I can use that's free. And actually probably give me more control over cameras and be able to use my phone because I wouldn't be using StreamYards. But not that I don't do the group, but I haven't done a group freaking stream in a while. No group stream in a while. Did you print out those Christmas tree stand things there, Sergio? Did they work? I want pictures, man. I want pictures. I want pictures of your little blocky, switchy, convertery thing we made the little mount for. Which you said that was a little tight, right? Which I thought it was. I actually made it loose. If you remember, I was adding like 0.25 of an inch or a millimeter in the openings. I had a feeling it was going to be tight. Because plastic swells, man. It swells. And it changes dimensions. And I don't think people realize when they do the dimension, it's on the center of the nozzle port. So if you have a 0.4 nozzle, the center is 0.2 on either side. It's 0.2, your plastic's 0.2 on either side, which is why you need to give yourself a 0.25 clearance, generally. I mean, it's not actually, they try and compensate for it, but it really doesn't do it very well. I glued up my Mox and Vice boards finally after, I don't know, been thinking about doing it for like 6 months since I built this bench, longer. And, I don't know, about a month or two ago, I machined the back of the bench, because this actually comes off. It's locked in. It's just the legs are set into it, so it can't move around, but I can lift it right up and off. But I'm going to mount the Mox and Vice on the end of it, which will end up locking it in, because it'll have to go through the legs, unless I cut that strut out. I could just cut that strut out and drop it down. but I really don't want to. So I'll just make it go through the bench and mount it permanently. At that point, it will be okay. It's a nice oak top. It looks pretty. I like my oak top, even if it is junk oak. That's what makes it awesome. It's old junk oak. This is like, I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it. It's 200-year-old house. Well, not quite. 1800s, early 1800s. So 100 years old, 200 years old, somewhere in there. The house was that old. But if you want to count the age of the tree, they could have been 1,000-year-old trees. They could be 200-year-old trees. By the tightness of the grain, I would say they were at least 100-year-old trees. So it could be like 300-year-old oak if you include the life of the actual tree, not from the point it was cut down, but from the point the sapling started growing. So it depends on how you want to look at it, but it's old-ass oak. It was around long before I was. That's hard to do. Not many people around long before I was. Sergio was. Jerry actually was. Jerry's like, what, you got a year or two on me, right? Jerry, you got to be pushing 60 this year, aren't you? You're 2 years older than me, aren't you? Or a year older than me? My brother next older than me. He's the fourth youngest. There's 5 of us. He will be 60 this year. I will be the last one of my brothers under 60. Later, Sergio. Did you get the file from Jerry? For the Vice. I'm thinking of Vice, and now I'm saying Vice instead of Ace. Vicey. Not that it's that important. It's just a goofy little vase. Shaved of beard. Shaved off your beard? You even had a beard? Yeah, you had a fairly clean cut beard. You didn't have a big bushy beard. Anyway, on that note, I think I'm done. I think I'm going to go in and I got to design the wheels for the Moxon Vice now. I got to find the threaded rod, which I know is over there somewhere. Oh, there it is right here. This is what I'm going to use to drive my Moxon Vice. And I actually think I'm going to keep it a very shallow opening. I never open them up that much. I always put the board in the end. If I'm going to put it flat, if I have the dog holes out here and the dog hole in the vise, I'll never be going more than a couple inches. So if I make it like a 4-inch wide opening, that's all I need in that. And it's homemade, so if I ever want it longer, all I gotta do is replace the rod with a longer one. So I think I'm only gonna do like an 8-inch rod. That gives me 4-inch in the wood when it's wide open. And that way I can leave all my stuff under here. Otherwise the rod will come in underneath and hit all my junk in here. If I leave it at 4-inch, that'll be 8 inches. I'm doing my tape measure. I think that'll stay inside the legs. Now it goes like just an inch beyond inside the legs, which I'm good with. I'll just have to keep everything an inch off. I think that'll work. I'm just guessing here. I'm winging it. I have no idea what I'm actually doing. If you haven't noticed. I'm sure y'all have noticed. Glue it to my little failed coaster. I've turned my little failed toaster into glue catch-all. So all the drippy glue from the brushes go onto it. The failed coaster. It cracked and didn't go through and splintered when it went through the router table. But I'm not throwing it out. I'm going to use it because it's pretty. Covered glue and all. And on that note, I think I'm done. You all have a wonderful day.